Did you ever see a cheap luxury car on Facebook Marketplace and think like, whoa, this is a crazy good deal? Until you realize that bargain is actually signing you up for repairs you didn't even know existed. So what starts out as a big win quickly turns into a financial nightmare. I've seen this play out so many times with people buying Buicks, Cadillacs, Lexuses, or even in this case, a 2004 Lincoln Navigator. Now this 2004 was $56,000 when it was new, but today, 20 years later, a good condition one of these can go for under $5,000 easy. But remember, these types of cars were designed for comfort, not serviceability. So they're great when they're brand new, but like this one behind me, when the luxury features start failing, they become absolute nightmares. So here's what we're doing. 3 reasons why luxury cars are actually a terrible bargain and what car models you should avoid on the used car market. Now, luxury vehicles come packed with features that normal cars don't have, like auto leveling headlights or self-folding rearview mirrors or big fancy entertainment centers and climate controls in your seat and your steering wheel and your roof. I don't know, like all this stuff to make driving more comfortable and luxurious. The problem is after 10, 15, 20 years, all these luxury features become failure points. Now, when some of these luxury features fail, like a 6 CD changer or a heated steering wheel, it's not going to keep you from driving. The problem comes when one of those features actually affects your car so much that you can't drive it anymore and you're forced to fix that problem. For example, on many luxury vehicles, the rearview mirrors automatically fold in or tip down when you're in reverse. So what happens if those stop working? Well, now your rearview mirrors are stuck folded in and your car is unsafe and not really drivable, and you have to get that fixed. So on a normal car, you wouldn't even have to worry about this problem because if you wanted to fold it in, you just do it manually. There's no electronics to go bad. An even better example is what's going on with this car right now. So on this Lincoln, instead of standard coil spring shocks, on all 4 corners it has air shocks, which are essentially airbags that are driven by a compressor, controlled by solenoids and switches, all driven by a suspension computer. And that allows it to automatically adjust to different loads, back or the sides. It can level the car out. You can even pick how high the car rides. You can lower it if you want to get out. And then you can adjust how firm or soft the suspension feels while you're driving. Very much a luxury feature, but check this out. This vehicle is sitting right on top of the tire. It's sunk right up inside the wheel well. It shouldn't be doing this. So what's happened is something in the suspension system has gone wrong, and now the whole car is sitting down on top of the tires. Now, because it's a complex system, I don't know what it is, but this vehicle is essentially undrivable now because it has no suspension. Meanwhile, a normal coil spring shock setup would never do this. In fact, we just made a video on a 1999 Accord that had the original shocks still in it, and while those shocks weren't driving perfectly, the car was still very drivable and definitely wasn't doing this. Now, the next issue you're going to run into when one of these luxury features fails is where to get the parts. Because the problem is luxury parts are often very niche. They're not mass produced, and oftentimes very quickly dealers and auto parts stores stop stocking them. And obviously, if you do find a supplier, because they're specialized and often electronic, they're going to be very expensive. So the air shocks on this car are getting way harder to find the older this vehicle gets. Like, there's no way I can go to an auto parts store in town and find replacement shocks. They're just not going to have them. I'm going to have to go special ordering them. Rather than if this was a base model SUV with spring type shocks, just a normal spring shock like this one, which would be way cheaper. I could find them locally, a whole lot easier. Now, when it comes to actually doing the job, I've seen quotes to repair the air shocks on this Lincoln Navigator for up to $2,300. Whereas if you were to get it done with like a normal spring shock, it'd probably be somewhere around $1,300. And because spring shocks are a way simpler system, you could actually do the job yourself for the cost of the parts. Now that brings me to the next point, which is serviceability. Because remember, I said these are designed for comfort, not serviceability. So in the case of this car, if you wanted to service the broken air shock system, it would be very difficult for you because you would need specialized equipment and know-how to get it done. And this is kind of the problem with luxury cars in general. A lot of the features are controlled by computers and sensors. So if you're a DIY guy, want to fix your car in your own garage, a car like this is not going to be a good fit. Guys, Why do you think the Facebook Marketplace is flooded with these luxury vehicles for such good prices? It's because owners are realizing how much these things cost to keep on the road. They want to get rid of them before there's any more major issues. While it might seem cool to own one of these luxury brands, just remember you're buying into 15 or 20 years of expensive technology that's guaranteed going to break at some point. So my recommendation, even though it may cost you a little bit more on the front end, get a more standard base model car that's going to have parts that are easier to find, cheaper to fix, stuff that you can do yourself, and it's going to save you money in the long run. Now, if you're interested in knowing what good car I think that you should buy, check out this video we made on all the things that you should look for and avoid.